what I'll do is I'll run through some of our findings and study. I'll try and rush through it because obviously we've got another group. If there's any questions, I'll take them at the end of the session. So what I'll do is I'll just run through the introduction and how we do the work, categories, science and control data, the understanding that we gained through the study, some of the predictions we made because we've obviously we feel we've discovered something. You know, that's up to us. It diversified into film during 2004 and 5, and we've still taken a photograph. So it's a lot of hard effort that we've put into this. I took time off work, 2 sections, one of 18 months, one 9 months, to concentrate on this research. We published a book in 2007 called Orbs, Energy and Mist, The Secrets of the Ancients. Now nobody's ever heard of the ancient people knowing about orbs. Nobody would ever even talk about it, but I'll explain why. So these are the categories we started. Of the 500 photographs we started, as you would do. Well, those are colour. We put them in the colour files. And obviously, what we discovered certain things about these orbs and the frequency they occur. Whether you get green ones, you get less green ones, and you get less red ones, you get more of the opaque ones. And I'm not gonna run through all the detail of what we discovered. I'm just going to say that we found many colours, all the colours of the spectrum. The predominant ones, you know, the ghost hunters are looking at are the opaque orbs. Or that's not strictly, you know, these things aren't, you know, that's not a room full of ghosts. That's children playing, and it's just an energy that is there, present with them. We put a black dust sheet out, and you know, numbers of orbs there, hundreds of them. You know, they're all around us. In fact, it's the energy that created the universe. That's about it. That's simple. If anybody wants to hear the simple thing, it's the stuff that made everything. The 96% we don't know anything about. And so the other categories that we started, these are just a sample of them because we've got many categories. The conditions, and we filmed in the day and the night and the rain and the hail, snow, hot times. But we've suddenly found that they attach to trees. That's in a lightning storm. So there are ancient beliefs that ancient religions believe that there is an energy that causes germination in seeds. Now we don't know much about DNA. 90% of it and 95% of it is a thing called junk DNA that we know nothing about. The scientists will say, well, we know all about DNA, except 98% of it that we know nothing about. And if you do a Google search again, junk DNA, you'll come up with those similar figures, you know. So I've just included a couple of locations. That's in America. Again in Cherokee. So this is a worldwide phenomenon. I'm just showing that it is a worldwide phenomenon. It's not localized to anything. What I did is I zoomed in on the raccoon, and as you would expect, the orb gets bigger. So the orb gets bigger, you zoomed in. So that's what you expect from a zoom. We then decided just to film in certain test areas, just to test things out. So what we had is we had a power station. So we filmed to see if the magnetic field of the power station, because they create magnetic fields around power stations. You get poles actually, north and south pole around the field. Not a lot of people know that, but you do get poles because it's a magnetic field, and you know it's an energy field. So you know they started to break up. We thought we'd found something there where if you notice these orbs breaking up here and here. So all this was now going towards our understanding of what was going on. So we took them in woodland. You get more in wet weather, so you know you can say, well, is it raining? You know, I'll come on to that. You do get more in wet weather. You can take your camera out in the rain, you get loads of it. But then you'll start to see stuff that is not rain. It's there in its tons, in fact, in rain. If you get a flash, you go over and you get hundreds of them, hundreds. But then you just put it down to smearing on the lens, you know, and you dismiss it.
I would have said that actually. Don't put it down.
Sorry?
I would have probably said that as well. Like,
yeah, you put it down to smearing, you know, but I'll show you some evidence as to why. Well, it may or it may not be. You know that some water particles, and certainly if you use a fine mister, you know, that they all appear spherical. They're all opaque, and if you get fog, which is fine mist particles, all the orbs appear the same. But you know, they say, oh well, they form a sphere because of surface tension. Why do things form a sphere? Do we know the answers? Does anyone know? Or everyone says, well, it's the most logical shape. No, why is it the most logical shape? Because the energy is already there to form them. You know, you can say the chicken and the egg situation. That was actually, that photograph was taken 2 days ago by Ken. It's the latest photograph that we've had. And I just included it just to say, we get photographs all the time that we don't know anything about. So I'm not going to tell you to everyone, I have every single answer, because I haven't. What we do is we put it in an under research file. And eventually, when we get enough of them that look the same, then we can draw some conclusions from that. So what we did is we decided to have a look. Everyone talks about energy of magnetic fields in Bronze Age sites. And this is the first wave that we got. And what's inside them is orbs. Now a photon wave is described as an electromagnetic wave capable of a wave carrying photons, you know. Well, light is a wave and particle. So you have spheres in there and you have a wave, you know. This was a major breakthrough for us. This is one of 3 sequence photographs as I say, taken rapidly between each other. And what you've got is you've got the hawthorn, and to us it's very much like the burning bush. You know, you've got a light source. It looks like it's burning. And the orb gets brighter and dimmer. It's like it's exchanging energy between a plant. You know, why does germination take place? You know, how is life there? You know, we've never really asked proper questions. You know, we say, well, it is. You know, because it is there. You know, life is there. Chemicals in a pond. You know, that's the answer we're given. So what we got is a stone circle. This is. Anyone seen the Northern Lights? Or you know, obviously know of the Northern Lights, most of it. Well, what you've got is. There's a spiraling field here of energy. You know, every one of us is putting out heat. There is energy coming out of us, but we don't see that heat. And there's also, the body is an electrical field. Every time I move my finger, there's a signal from my brain coming to my finger. You know, that's charge, that's energy. It's not just pulleys. You know, we never really think about why we're moving our fingers, they just move. So what you have is a spiral here with particles, like the Northern Lights, that reflect light. And it's very much similar to a spiral galaxy. This is probably one of the best piece of evidence we have. One of them. We've got hundreds of them, but it's one of the ones that I like. There is a sequence, we've taken 50 photographs there, all in sequence. So we've just taken photographs until our batteries have gone flat like this. Flash recharges, take them. So when you take a photograph, you get 2 flashes. You get your first flash and the second flash. You see a little flicker? Everyone should have seen that little flicker. In that little flicker, we watch those move for 5 minutes. Well, they didn't fire for 5 minutes because after a certain time, we decided to put our hands over. Now what you've got, every camera expert's going to say, oh well, it's flashback. That's in focus. That's in focus. That's in focus. That's not in focus. And what we did is we put our hands over the rock and it glowed. So now we're standing in some sort of electromagnetic field or field of energy. John put his hand on the stone, it stopped. We did that twice in fact. That's the following photograph when he took it off. And then it occurred again. So it twice on happened. Twice on happened. In that sequence of 50. What we have is bars. In the Bible, they say that rods can heal you. They place a rod on a child and he will not be harmed, you get well, or something like that in terminology. And yet